Welcome to Order Militaris Radio TV. We are coming to you live once again. It's a single show. I hope you had a good 4th of July weekend. And today's show is a really good but controversial show because people are freaking out, especially in the government and the liberals, saying Corona is back. Well, I must say, folks, I'm not worried about it. Neither should you. And all these tyrant governors should relinquish their authority that ended with their emergency orders that are now overdue. And today's show is one that's been hidden by Raven Abrams. He published this back in May 10th, 2020. Coronavirus, more abuse of Christians. Let's do the bullet points first, and then we'll get to the report. The Christian man said he begged for food to no avail. Farouk Messah, a 50-year-old Christian in Karangi, said that last Saturday. Habib Kwadhari, a member of the Sayani Welfare with other NGO members, handed out food cards in his area. But when they got to Christian homes, they just moved on. Sharif Kokar. Excuse me, folks. AsianNews.it, March 30, 2020. Millions of Christians living in northern Nigeria's Kaduna state report they get 6 times smaller rations from the state than Muslim families. Believers we talked to shared that a Christian family of 4 receives a grossly inadequate ration of a single packet of noodles and 1 small plate of uncooked rice. Open Doors, April 17, 2020. The situation for Sub-Saharan Christians is further exacerbated by specific targeting by Islamic radical groups like Boko Haram, ISIS, Fulani militants, and Allied Democrat Forces, ADF, across the region has displaced many thousands of Christians. Such Christians are now living in a crowded and hard-to-reach refugee camps where they are suffering intensely without water, sanitation, and hygiene, making them extra susceptible to contracting the deadly virus. It's not the virus they're going to be catching, folks. It's other deadly virus from poor sanitation and everything else. More likely, what killed millions of people in Europe because of poor sanitation and not good hygiene and proper places to go to the restroom. At a time when COVID-19 is showing the best of people, countless doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, truckers, philanthropic institutions, and churches in America have stepped up beyond the call of duty, and certainly without consideration for things like race or religion. In much of the world, COVID-19 has merely occasioned more of the usual hate for and persecution of supposedly contemptible infidels, particularly Christians. Now he begins the report. Reports have appeared in recent weeks indicating that the coronavirus is furnishing a new pretext in the Islamic world to discriminate against, even persecute religious minorities, chiefly Christians. According to an April 29 report, in countries such as Ethiopia, Christians are denied the resources of the community, which is mainly composed of Muslims. These minorities are excluded from society, making it difficult to provide them with help or support. A separate report notes that in Muslim-majority Uzbekistan, Christians have been denied aid because of their religion. Pakistan, as usual, offers several examples according to the March 30th report. A Karachi NGO has denied food aid to poor Hindus and Christians who, like Muslims, are suffering from coronavirus. The Salani Welfare International Trust has been operating in the Karachi area since 1999, handing out aid and meals to homeless people and seasonal workers. 2 days ago, the welfare organization refused to give ration cards to non-Muslims, saying that only Muslims are entitled to them. The reason for this is that zakat, Islamic almsgiving, one of Islam's 5 pillars, is reserved for Muslims. The Christian man said he begged for food to no avail. Farouk Maha, a 50-year-old Christian in Krangi, said that last Saturday, Abib Kwarari, a member of the Solani Welfare, with other NGO members, handed out food cards in this area, but when they got to Christian homes, they just moved on. So, President Trump retweets Taylor Marshall, saying there's a war on Christianity. Yeah, there's a war on Christianity, all right. It's on our soil, where the Marxist terrorists are freely allowed to tear down statues of Christopher Columbus, Father Juniper Serra, my uncle, St. King Louis IX. They're trying to deface in St. Louis. Cousin, relative, St. King Louis XVI, who should be canonized as a martyr, had his hand and arm torn off in Louisville. You know? If that's the only war Taylor Marshall is worried about, he and all the trads are blind as the Five Blind Mice song we learned as children. Five blind mice, five blind mice. As you can tell, folks, from this report I'm reading, there is a bigger war on Christianity, where in times of illness, Christians do not matter. They do not get proper ration cards, proper rations for large families, because they are the infidel. Not to mention they don't get proper health and emergency equipment or response, or even security response by the local police. Why? Because they're Christians. So yeah, there's a war on Christianity. Mr. President Donald Trump. We at Ordo Militaris Catholicus have tried to contact you and get all the proper paperwork, do our security and humanitarian work legally, and we've also reached out to all you trads out there who turned a blind eye to what Ordo Militaris the Catholicus does, or is founded to do. If you took all that time and effort you do in doing your own videos, and promoting yourself. Promoting your product. And if you learn about Ordo Militaris Catholicus, and you truly had a heart of a Christian warrior, not one that just talks about being a crusader, ooh, but actually living it, actually giving a damn about our Christian brothers and sisters being persecuted, slaughtered, starved to death, because they are just that, Christians in their homeland, not getting the help they need. If that insults you, Chat Inc., all you chatties out there, as the famous line in Gone with the Wind is, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Because it should insult you. It should hurt you to the core, saying you're not acting as true Christians, living the principle of willing to lay down one's life for a friend, for a fellow Christian in a faraway land where they have no help, where they have no security. We have lost these principles of old. And if you have the time, the treasure, and the talent to spare, and willing to think of others, I want you to join Ordo Militaris Catholicus. I want you to invest, become a stock owner in Ordo Militaris Catholicus today, so that this does not happen anymore. That these Christians in Nigeria, Ethiopia, Iraq, anywhere they are being persecuted, will have what they need. They are not getting it from the non-governmental organizations who's supposed to care for their humanitarian needs of food, water, hygiene, toiletries. If we can provide them those things, as well as the needed things of security, that would be awesome. So how do you join and help out? Go to ordo-militaris.us. You want to become a member? Go to the donate page. You either do a monthly donation or a one-time large donation. If you are able and have the talent, time, and treasure of becoming an investor, go to the investment page. If you are a retired veteran, go to the sign-up page. If you are a U.S. national citizen without any military service and want to become a security member and get the proper training, there is a part for you on the sign-up page for the basic training wheel. Go there, download all that information, print it out, fill it out, mail it back with your name, address, and check to cover the expenses. Folks, we need to get Ordo Militaris operational. In August, it'll be our anniversary of founding Ordo Militaris Catholicus. And coming up on July 26th is the anniversary of the martyrdom of Father Jacques Hamel. And leading up to those anniversaries, we're going to be doing specific shows on Ordo Militaris. Ordo Militaris. So I ask you, do you have the courage, the fortitude, the bravery, the valor? Do what is right and just. And we hear the call of the Blessed Urban II to come to the aid of these Christians in legal means through Ordo Militaris Catholicus. If you do, go to ordo-militaris.us. Now let's get back to the report. A few days back, there was an announcement made through a mosque loudspeaker in the Sher Shah neighborhood of Lahore, inviting citizens to collect the government's announced foodstuffs. The pastor explained concerning another similar incident in Pakistan. When Christians reached the distribution point and presented their national identity cards, they were asked by staffers to get out of line, claiming the foodstuff was only for Muslim citizens. The same pastor received numerous phone calls from his flock, all of whom experienced the same denial. Christians often face religious hatred and discrimination. A Christian woman aged 50 said of her experience, "However, we never thought of this biased behavior for the majority of people at this critical time of COVID-19. Others are using this pandemic to win converts to Islam, according to a May 8th report. An Islamic cleric claims his organization is using COVID-19 food aid to convert non-Muslims to Islam. Speaking on Pakistani television, the cleric boasted of how when a destitute Christian man came for aid, the staff of the organization offered him conversion against food. When he accepted, the man was subsequently named Muhammad Ramadan, signifying his conversion had occurred during the holy month. According to the cleric, Muhammad is now fasting, which is ironic considering hunger is what prompted him to convert in the first place. And we'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry for the delay, folks. The issue in Pakistan is apparently so bad that on April 13th, the U.S. Commission of International Religious Freedom denounced the discriminatory and abusive measures as simply reprehensible, adding, as COVID-19 continues to spread, vulnerable communities within Pakistan are fighting hunger to keep their families safe and healthy. Food aid must not be denied because of one's faith. We urge the Pakistani government to ensure that food aid from distributing organizations is shared equally with Hindus, Christians, and other religious minorities. While reprehensible, Pakistan's conduct towards its non-Muslim minorities is certainly consistent. USCIRF's own 2019 annual report notes that Christians and Hindus in Pakistan face continual threats to their security and are subject to various forms of harassment and social exclusion. Among other uncharitable acts connected to COVID 19 in Pakistan, a Christian man was tortured to death for denying, for defiling himself while washing at a Muslim well. And when another Christian man asked his employer if he could leave early to attend church, he was told to clean our toilets first and take our germs to your church so they can suffer, and then given a beating. At the end, at the other end of the Muslim world, in Sharia-governed areas of Nigeria, the government is discriminating against Christians, also in the context of COVID-19, said an April 17 report. Millions of Christians living in northern Nigeria's Kaduna state report they get 6 times smaller rations from the state than Muslim families. Believers we talked to shared that a Christian family of 4 receives grossly inadequate ration of a single pack of noodles and one small plate of uncooked rice. The same report highlighted how hundreds of thousands of believers all throughout sub-Saharan Africa are not only persecuted for their decision to follow Jesus, but are now doubly vulnerable to impact the global pandemic. Specifically, 4 of the 5 most virus vulnerable countries, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Nigeria, Sudan, Cameroon, also count among the places in sub-Saharan Africa where life is hardest for Christians. For Christians who are already persecuted, the pandemic gives way to even more ways believers can be discriminated against, exploited, and attacked for their faith. We are facing persecution because of our faith, and we're also facing a global pandemic, Reverend John Joseph Hayab, a pastor in Nigeria, explained. We run away from our persecution, or we run away from the global sickness that we are facing. We have a double problem. We lie down at night not knowing if we'll wake, another pastor says concerning the ongoing terror attacks, particularly by Fulani Muslim herdsmen, who, if anything, have only increased their deadly raids on Christian villages, thereby compromising their immune system with more stress and trauma. In the midst of the coronavirus challenges and situation, the attacks on Christians have not stopped, he said. The situation for sub-Saharan Christians is further exacerbated by the fact that specific targeting by Islamic radical groups like Boko Haram, ISIS, Fulani militants, and Allied Democratic Forces (ADF) across the region has displaced many thousands of Christians. Such Christians are now living in crowded and hard-to-reach refugee camps where they are suffering intensely without water, sanitation, and hygiene, making them extra susceptible to contracting the deadly virus. We are only at the dawn of the unfolding of this pandemic in this part of Africa, a human rights observer said in the words that apply to Christians especially throughout the Muslim world. There are many causes for concern for Christian minorities, like the economic impact of continued violence against Christians amid lockdowns, marginalizations of Christians, especially converts, and Christians being blamed to have caused the virus. In short, a time when COVID-19 is showing the best of people, countless doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, truckers, philanthropic institutions and churches in America have stepped up beyond the call of duty, and certainly without consideration for things like race or religion. In much of the world, COVID-19 has merely occasioned more of the usual hate for and persecution of supposedly contemptible infidels, particularly Christians. We'll be returning tomorrow on our weekly update on terrorism around the world to continue where we left off. And have more from Raymond Abrams. And hopefully he'll have his new report published and we'll pick it up from there. You're listening to Order Militaris Radio TV, live at ordo-militaris.net. Please click on the show topic post. Scroll down, you'll see a blue-green button to make a free monthly will subscription to their station. Click that button, follow the steps, and you are supporting the radio. And to join Order Militaris Catholicus, and please do join us, either by becoming a member, by going to the donate page, by becoming an investor, by going to the investment page. If you're a retired military veteran who wants to join us, go to the sign up page and follow the steps. And go to ordo-militaris.us. And that'll be our today's show, folks. And looking forward to getting back to this topic tomorrow. And that's all we have for you today. Day is full.